Well, good morning, Rachel. Thank you for joining us and in the Miracle of You Holistic Health Group. It's such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. It really is. Thank you.
I'm so excited to bring Rachel here. As many of you know, I've been in the holistic health world for many years, over 25 years. And along our journey, we get to meet other individuals in our tribe that bring holistic healing, natural healing to the body. And Rachel is somebody that I saw her on Facebook and I said, I have to know her. What is she about? And I've been so stoked to watch her and see her testimonies. So, Rachel, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
Thank you. That's so wonderful. I didn't know I had a stalker. That's so gorgeous, isn't it? And nobody could be better than you as a stalker. So yeah, I'd love you to stay my stalker. Thank you. Well, my journey really was going through emotional abusive relationships, which I hadn't realised there was a pattern because it was my normal. And then because my kids decided to go and live with their dad, I had that space of, well, what do I want to do? Because I was just being a mum, full-time mum, working in a school, doing the stuff so that I could be a full-time mum, really. When the kids were home, I was home. So this blank space of nothingness of who am I was that void. And it made me go within and just sort of, I thought I was going to do counselling, but I got this course locally and it was hypnotherapy in the first year, which I wasn't interested in at all. But I started gaining, as I was going through the training, it just spoke to me more and more. And then there was another course I found as well. So I did both simultaneously and became an advanced hypnotherapist at the same time as this basic hypnotherapy training. And I never did the counselling course. It just didn't interest me anymore because I was like, well, I don't need that because I can get rid of the issue. We don't need to come back next week and talk about your pain. We can just get rid of it and eliminate it. And when we've understood it. So at the same time, I qualified in June 2018. At that time in October, my daughter was going through a flare up of her autoimmune disease. She was diagnosed when she was a year old. We've been doing all the things that the doctor said we should and must, so we were trapped in that pain and cycle of pain and symptoms. And my daughter was throwing up every weekend. She was on methotrexate. It was awful to watch her. But she'd been in drug-induced remission for 2 years, and that was like, whoa, this is amazing. We're going somewhere. They said that they thought that she might have outgrown it. So we came off the drugs, and 8 weeks in, she got the flare up. And they said we need to go back on the drugs again, and it might even be more powerful ones this time. And we both looked at each other and went, can't do that. We just can't do that. Her little face. And it broke my heart. So like, well, I've got this thing that I can do, but I haven't actually really done anything with it. I was just going to file the certificate and like not do anything really. That was the plan. But I knew that it's possible the people had got rid of or helped them overcome physical conditions. I can understand why it would work with anxiety, but this was a physical condition. And they're like, ooh, it feels a big deal, right? But we decided to have a session. And I said, well, if it takes 50 sessions, we'll have a go and just keep going and going and going. You're my daughter, so, just keep going. But it took one session to get to root cause. I know, this was before I knew what I was doing. So it's a bit hypnotherapy by numbers, basically.
Yeah.
But the point was, we got to her personal root cause. She was able to see it in the cold light of day, if you like. She was able to analyze it using her conscious mind. And she was able to just let go of it. And for her, it was just that she needed pain to be like everybody else. So as a mum, I'm going, whoa, this is amazing. And as a therapist, I'm doing the same thing. But then I'm like, hold on, I haven't got pain. Who's your everybody? So she said, well, it's my cousins and my brother. They'd all got pain of their own when she was diagnosed. Now, fortunately, they were all better because one of them had cancer. But fortunately, they'd all recovered. And so that she didn't need her pain anymore either. She could see that it wasn't benefiting them, and it certainly wasn't benefiting herself. Right. So she was able to let go of it. And then that gave me the incentive because it felt like a disservice to humanity. It felt that heavy. It felt that big. If I didn't do something, with this thing that I now knew worked, if I sort of sat on my hands and didn't do anything, it felt like a crime. So I had to put myself out there, and I'm quite shy, really, naturally. I don't want to be the big thing. I just want to be quite small and, meek, if you like. But because of this, I knew I had to get out there and tell the world that the answers aren't in the bottle of medication, the answers are in our subconscious. And so I hired a room locally, and I just like basically just kept telling Facebook that I'm doing this and this is how much I'm charging. It's a special offer. I just need a testimonial, and people came. And one of the first few people, I had psoriasis with a man who got it all over his body, and he was very skeptical. We had the conversation about methotrexate, actually. That's how we started. And I'm like, I think I can help you more than that. Are you willing? And he was. And that was just trapped anger as a child. And 2 weeks later, his skin is on my website. The photographs are on my website of how quickly that healed. And then there's another lady with post-traumatic stress that just took one session as well. She'd been everywhere looking for solutions, and she knew what her root cause was because she was held at knife point when she was 6 years old on the way to get an ice cream at the beach. But as she left my office, I mean, I saw her as this amazing woman, like, whoa, you got away at 6 years old. That's incredible. But she saw herself as a victim. So I was able to help her go, well, hold on. If you can do that, what else can you do? And she then sort of started seeing herself as I saw her. And she left my office after that 2 hour session and said, I'm just going to go shopping and get a birthday card for my son. So I was a bit dismissive because I just thought, well, that's what people do. But she's like, no, I haven't been shopping on my own for like 5 years. And so that's what she did. And she's now a landscape gardener living her life. So again, that gave another, like, I've got to do this, I've got to keep going and keep going. And yesterday, I had a session with a lady with scoliosis, which is back pain and curvature of the spine. She'd had that for 40 years. I just had an email from her. She says, I feel amazing today. She felt, oh, that was such a beautiful session. I'll talk about that another time. But it was just so gorgeous.
That is, it's beautiful. It's amazing. And, I love that you're talking about this. I love it because during my own healing crisis, I tell all my clients all the time when we talk about my testimony that absolutely every part of my system was shutting down. And during the shutdown of my body, I was looking at all the emotional stress that I was going through. My father was terminal and living with me, so I was his caregiver. My ex-husband was chronically sick for 10 years and slightly becoming a little unmanageable. To keeping that light. I was the stress and the pressure of trying to homeschool my two kids with my chronic illnesses that were really coming to the surface. And I did implement all of the life changes of my lifestyle. And part of that lifestyle was I received closure when my dad passed away. And so all of a sudden, the maternal stuff that I was holding on to was released during that. So I know there was a lot of things that were the emotional part of it helped fully in me becoming whole and becoming healed. It kind of all worked together. So some of us that are stuck in these chronic illnesses are stuck in our lifestyle with these chronic illnesses, we have to look at the emotional aspect of that and what's going on in your life or what happened in your childhood. So what do you think the percentage of people that have chronic illness, which is most of America, by the way, how many of that percentage wise can you attribute to past trauma, like childhood trauma? We won't even talk about past lives, but maybe childhood traumas.
I think pretty much the majority. It's hard to put a percentage on, but I really believe. And the other thing is, I have never worked with anybody that hasn't had an emotional root cause. There's
Mhm.
never been anybody that's come my way and I've said, oh, I can't. There's always been a root cause emotionally to it. So
Yeah.
pretty much anybody. And the other thing is, Laura, is that if you weren't born with it, it's something you've acquired, and anything you've acquired, you can let go of. So your memory's got your subconscious mind as a memory of what perfect looked like, your perfect body looked like. So it can, because it's got that memory of what perfection looks like, you can go back to that. And I
Yeah.
really do believe that. And like you
Yeah.
said, it could be in a past life too. So, and I work with past, present, and future life. So
I
it's
love
just
it.
whatever you
Mhm.
want is available. You know, we are. I think the thing is to understand is that although we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
That is the first thing to understand. So,
Yes.
because we are spiritual beings, we are full of untapped potential, and so it's that untapped potential. We keep ourselves trapped in the I'm just this body, but you're more than your body. You're more than your thoughts. You're more than you can perceive yourself to be. So it's just tapping into that untappedness.
Yes.
That's good. And that's it. It's just tapping into that. You can create anything, and this pain and symptoms, like it's like a glow stick, isn't it? The glow stick that you have to snap it to make it shine. Well, the symptoms are just asking you to do that. It's the crap within you that you then release all that stuff so that you shine the way you're meant to.
That's a great analogy, like a glow stick. I love that. And because we are light, we're energetic bodies. And so, what a great analogy. That's amazing.
Yesterday, well, as I'm my nails done actually. So
That's
yeah,
great.
thank you. Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. And together, just imagine what we can create with the
That's what,
holistic.
yes. And we're going to talk about that. Absolutely. I know, I was going to say, I know from a personal testimony, I had a massive spiritual awakening several years ago. It happened, I believe, right before 2020. And I didn't see it coming. So it sort of threw me on my face. It was 8 months of beautiful bliss and wonderment. And after that, it was 8 or 9 months of emotional devastation because the awakening said, hey, guess what? All your trauma's got to be healed now. So I had been watching Rachel and I was intrigued by what you do. And so I asked Rachel to help me deal with some abandonment issues, is what came out. I didn't really, wasn't too sure. So she did a session with me, and it's so funny. I want you guys to know how just simple this was. Is my body was already trying to release the trauma by continually for a long time bringing up a memory. It was just a memory that kept coming into my mind. And I would say, oh, I don't know why I keep thinking that, and push it away. And so when Rachel did just a real simple hypnosis with me, we did one session. Lo and behold, my body, I guess in my subconscious, brought up that memory that my body was already showing me. My whole physiology was already trying to bring my attention to, and we addressed it right then and there. Well, this is what happened. I was 8 months old. I was sitting on a couch, and I was feeling not so good, not loved, not nurtured. And after that session, it was the next day, and I felt lighter. And then as the weeks wore on, um, the triggers that I was receiving were just numb. I didn't have the emotional free fall of panic and anxiety that the triggers were bringing on. So I saw pretty much immediate relief from that. And it's been so freeing. It's been like, woohoo, I don't have to be triggered anymore.
It's wonderful, isn't it? And it's very similar scene to what you just described. Is actually somebody had this very similar thing, and it led to psoriasis, and she's had psoriasis for years, and it was here across her forehead because it was like, Mom, Dad, you need to see the pain I'm in because I can't tell you, I'm 8 months old, and I'm wearing it. Can you notice? But of course, they didn't understand.
Right.
So yeah, it's wonderful when you understand. It's
Right.
just body just sends you messages because it's the link between the subconscious and conscious mind.
Correct.
So the body's there. It's not malfunctioning. It's not working against you. It's showing you. It's
Right.
showing you. It's like trapped wind. That's blooming painful, isn't it? And it's the same thing. It's just energy that's stuck.
Yes.
So by understanding that it's not, your body's not breaking down. It's not like not hurting you. It's not meant to be hurting you. It's just asking you.
Right.
Just
It's
like it's communicating. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I tell my clients. It's when chronic illness or any kind of imbalance in the body rises up, it's a gift. It's our immediate response is, oh, my damn ankle, I sprained it again, and it's inflamed and I can't do this, or oh my God, my shoulder, I've got bursitis in my shoulder, it's flaring up, And what we first have to understand is what you're saying is we can't hate the gift that is just communicating. Pay attention, I have something to say. And that's what I say in my sessions is your body's trying to tell you something. And we're not just saying that like doctors say, well, your body's trying to tell you too much sugar. No, there's actually it's how it communicates as the whole physiology.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, your shoulder, if it's your right shoulder, it's about burdens that you're carrying. And burdens usually from somebody else. And on the right, it's about the current moment. So you're carrying a burden from somebody, possibly somebody else, that's not yours to carry. But if it's on the left, then it's a burden in the past. And that is literally how our bodies communicate. It's so literal. So if you've got stomach issues, what are you not stomaching? What is it that you're not able to process? Maybe you learned as a child it wasn't safe to share your emotions because your caregivers were quite volatile, perhaps. It wasn't safe for you, so you're trying to pacify them instead of yourself. And so your emotions have to go somewhere and you just swallow them down, push them down.
That's exactly. I know in my childhood it was, which was very dysfunctional. And it was like, don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about. Or if you're gonna cry, I don't want to see you cry. Or you're too sensitive. You're just too sensitive, Laura. And so trying this stuff as a little tiny child with zero coping skills from 0 to 7, we're just little absorbers during that time. We have no coping skills, so we just stuff it down. And then we go through life busy, busy, busy until we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s. And all that stuff we suppress, the body's like, I'm exhausted. We got to heal this. We got to let this go.
That's right, because it's just more trauma adding on the other trauma that the body's like, I'm full.
Yeah.
I am so full. I've got anywhere else to push it. So
yeah. And then and like you said, you've accumulated, traumatic relationships or traumatic circumstances in life, and your body's like, I'm ceilinged out. I'm carrying all this. That's great stuff. Wonderful. Just seeing that connection to our bodies are so much more precious than the conventional medicine teaches us. It's such an amazing technological machine. It works perfectly. It already knows how to release these traumas, but we don't let it, right? So that's why we need Rachel.
And you.
And me, yeah.
And it's absolutely true. We are, but the thing is, they don't want us to be powerful.
Right.
So by keeping us in the cycle of pain and symptoms, it stops us looking inside. We're looking out there because that's what we've been told to do. And so when we look inside, not only do we get the chance to heal ourselves with the physical stuff that's going on, we actually heal ourselves emotionally. And we stand in our own true power, feeling amazing. And that's the difference. They don't want us to be.
They do not. And and I talk about this. Yes.
They want us to feel sparkly and beautiful and gorgeous. They want us to feel traumatized and trapped and stuck.
I think the biggest, the big elephant in the room that some people are very open to, and some people are slower to come to the realization, or some are not even open at all because we've been so duped by the medical system. But the big white elephant in the room is that the body can heal from anything. And I'm not the only one teaching this. You're not the only one teaching this. There's a whole millions in our tribe that understand this fundamentally. Conventional medicine has a place. It can sew an arm on, it can help you if you got hit by a car. Emergency services are wonderful. I'll never diss that. In other countries, in Ayurvedic medicine, in traditional Chinese medicine, and in these other countries, when a patient presents with the whole physiology being with anxiety, let's say, and um, psoriasis and eczema, severe gut issues, a limp, walking with a limp because their hip hurts. They already understand in other countries the emotional connection. So they're going to treat it with the foods that heal, foods as medicine, and they're going to treat it from the emotional standpoint also.
What you and I are doing, isn't that gorgeous?
Yes, yes.
Yes, exactly. And hip pain is about not moving forward from something.
I know it. Isn't that wonderful? Like you can say, look at your body and say, I talk about in my group a lot, like if you, how powerful our words are. And if you say continually, gosh, my boss is a pain in the ass. My boss is a pain in the ass. And I say, if you keep talking like that, you're going to get hemorrhoids. Stop it. It's that we're that powerful. We're that powerful.
It's called spelling for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah. We are such powerful beings, and I love that you're helping people access who they truly are, their true authentic selves. So let's talk about what you and I are doing. What are we doing? We want to collaborate together. Why? Because we know we can.
Yeah, and because we already have as well. Right. We've had several clients that we've worked together with, and they have got outstanding results, haven't they? Yeah. And it's gorgeous that we're collaborating, because it's the food and emotional medicine is, like you said a couple of days ago, it's the future of medicine, isn't it?
It is the future of medicine. And this is what they don't want people to know, is that no, you need to keep taking these pills. And I've had so many clients tell me, well, no, my doctor said food is not causing my Crohn's or my ulcerative colitis or all of these things. I had a client whose doctor told her, she came on with severe digestive issues, and her doctor said, do not eat vegetables or fruit. I just want you to eat from like a can of progresso soup, and that's that. And so the love that you and I are able to give to clients by our wisdom and our understanding of how the body heals. Food is medicine, and emotional health is going to be part of that healing, as well as detoxification.
I've got a little story to share, if I can, with you. Yeah. Writers, right? I was on Channel 4 television in October, I think it was September, October last year. I was invited to go on Channel 4 daytime TV, and I was excited. And there was a person there was talking about ulcerative colitis, and I was in this little group of sharing, like if we could add anything to that conversation they wanted to hear. So I was like, yes, I'd love to add to that. Like, oh no, you can't do that one. You can't, because the doctor's there. You can't talk about anything. You can talk about being some attack on the street or something else. Handwriting. Handwriting was going to be something they weren't going to be teaching primary school children. It was all going to be on the laptop and stuff. So I was like, okay, I could talk about that, but I don't want to talk about that. I really want to talk about ulcerative colitis. No, 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 you can't. So the doctor came on, and this lady, I wasn't even allowed to talk to her afterwards either, but this lady was talking about how she'd gone decades with ulcerative colitis and how all she could eat was jelly babies. Jelly
Yeah.
babies. And it's like, I felt her pain. And I wanted to be able to say, look, darling, I've worked with ulcerative colitis before, and I actually, in my testimonial books, I've got a little power of reinvention, because that's one of my stories I've written. I'm a chapter. So the power of reinvention is what I've
Nice.
done, and she's in there, and I think she's going through a bit of a flare up at the moment because she's had another similar trauma that is what was about in the first place. But the fact is that she's gone ages without any flare up at all. So it's possible, and I wasn't allowed to speak it. And that says it all. Mainstream media, it's a no, and it just I've had first-hand experience, and I'm sure that's why I went on that specific program on that specific day, so that I could really see it and feel it for myself, and know how you get shut down and you can't say this stuff. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I used to get shut down on social media a lot. The minute I said heal or anything like that, it was like they were on me like craziness. So, because as you said, whoever they are, don't want people to understand the real way the body heals. But it's also important to not really settle on that so much, the negative side of where we've been for these decades and really a full century. 2023 would bring us to a full century of when the medical system changed and turned people like us into quackery. We're just going to let that go. But the true heart of it is this is the future of medicine. And we know that because you and I've had some massive success in both of our modalities and what we've helped people to overcome. We also know, as I mentioned earlier, there are doctors doing energy medicine now. They're doing what you do. They're adding things like breath work, everything that it's going to take to bring a client or a patient back into their true selves.
Balance. That's all it is, isn't it? It's just back into balance.
It is.
You're just out of balance. That's all. It's just looking at what it is, and together, it's just we can help them clients so much. I'm just wondering if there's any if you've got any questions, then just drop it in the comments.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing the comments. I'm scared my phone's going to be weird. But we want you guys to be excited here in this group. If you've just joined, welcome. We want you guys to be excited about our future work together, Rachel and I's. We're going to be doing some master classes where we're actually going to bring, hold on to your seats, actually healing modalities within these master classes. In these groups that we're going to do. We are also offering, as I said, we've already been working and collaborating together with clients to bring them just wholesome back to balance healing, addressing emotions as well as the physical standpoint of the body. And so we are going to be offering packages, integrating my 5-week program along with Rachel's teachings. So can you imagine the possibilities of what we can do? She's a powerhouse. And I know I'm a powerhouse. So when we bring these gifts together, we are fully confident and people's ability to it's not, we're not the healers, guys. You guys are amazingly adept at accessing your own healing once you learn the tools that Rachel and I have. So I'm super excited about that. Who's got questions? If you have questions, please comment down below, and we'll address those while we're on. I don't see any yet.
I love that, what you just said. I've just written that down. Back to balance healing. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's what it is. And it feels so good. I think about the contrast of carrying around anxiety and depression, the contrast of feeling I'm
alive.
heavy, I'm heavier than I want to be. Yeah. And understanding that the whole physiology can just flip around in 5 weeks or less, depending on what we're doing with a client, sometimes just a session with you or a session with me. And do you remember what it feels like to feel alive and vibrant and all the emotions that come with that? It's so magnificent to come back home and to find out who you really are.
Yes, it's beautiful. You probably never even felt it because of you probably went through a lot of trauma when you were too little to feel all those feels,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I know one of my things was my birth story made me feel so I shouldn't be here. So that was my first thing, was that I needed to look outside of me for validation, because I was a cesarean birth, but because I was breech, and my mum kept saying every year, "Oh, you don't even know which way to be born." So my interpretation of that, if I don't know how to be born, I shouldn't be alive. And if anybody finds out that I shouldn't be here, I'm this big imposter, you know.
Yes.
So that was the major thing, and it was just like, so they called me deaf and dumb at school, at primary school, because I didn't talk. In case somebody
Oh
found
my God.
bad secret. I
I
know.
had the same thing. That's
No
so
way.
funny. We are
You know.
so much alike. I literally did not talk through the early part of elementary school, and they almost said, "Laura, you're going to fail first grade." And I was like, "Don't tell my mom; she's going to kill me." And they got me a speech therapist. And I think there's a lot of undercurrent of why you and I didn't talk.
Did you
And
have any
there,
issues, or did you have any thyroid issues?
I did. Yeah. They're healed now, but yes, I did.
You
I was
know
in
that
Synthroid for a year.
not being able to speak up.
Yeah, the throat chakra was totally blocked. Yeah.
It was mine. I've had mine out, unfortunately, because I didn't know what I know now. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
a growth on it. Yeah, it was stopping me breathing. So yeah, it's incredible when you understand the body. You and I have got so much in common. I just can't believe it's just like, it's like you're my soul sister, but
I
just like
know.
a twin soul sister. It's incredible.
I know. It's sad that you don't live right next door. I'd never work again. I'd be at your house for coffee every day talking about our what we're doing.
Well, maybe we can make that happen.
Yeah, well, we can manifest that. So
We can.
yeah, we have speaking of manifestation, we have packages that Rachel and I will be working on in the future. The beautiful thing is, as we heal and as we understand the mind more, and as we come in and work on ourselves, the whole self-love, that's what I'm about. We are able to offer manifestation courses and how to create the things that you desire, the life that you want. The biggest part of that Rachel and I will address is that you're worthy of all that you dream of. You're worthy, and we're supposed to be living like that. We're not supposed to be living in sadness and pain and chronic illness. It's not the norm. It's not, how are you, Sally? Oh, I'm so stressed out. My shoulder hurts. That's not normal. That's not, we need to stop normalizing that. What is normal is living happy and healing,
Yeah,
because it's a lifelong journey. It is, but
yeah, but we can do so much in so short a space of time. It feels like you're on that escalator of
yeah,
oof, it's just be done. So you
yeah,
feel so much like you do, and like I do, more energized and free to be you, and standing in that
yeah,
power.
yes,
And self love, we're told, aren't we, that self love is a bit conceited and a bit,
mm-hmm.
because it's a powerful thing. We've been told, it's basically everything you've ever been told is back to front.
Yeah, yeah. It's we have been told everything that's off. Oh, my daughter just said there's a bunch of questions and I'm not seeing them. Do you see the questions?
No, I'm not.
I'm not seeing them either. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see.
I am now. Hold on. Let me just turn the volume. Right.
Because
Hi, Tatum. Good morning.
Hi, Tatum.
Hi, Rachel and Laura. Brenda wants to know. I'd like to know about the connection with head and chest congestion, also thyroid. Well, thyroid we just touched on. It's about not being able to speak up. Connection with head and chest. Well, chest congestion really is about being
stuffed.
Yes, you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Yes.
Lungs are where grief can be stored.
Yes.
As well. So it can be around grief. It can also be around, are you feeling suffocated in a current relationship? Perhaps I've had that with another client. So that's just something to think about. So that's basically what's going on. Head is about congestion as well, isn't it? So it's predominantly. So it's about pressure you're putting on yourself.
Yes.
People. Okay, John wants to know if I can speak more on hypnosis and how we help with health issues. Well, hypnosis or hypnotherapy is just a natural state of relaxation. It's the same as when you're watching a movie and you're crying when the people on the screen are crying, or you're laughing when they laugh. It's just that state. It's the daydreaming state. It's when you're driving and you're wondering where you've got to. How did I get to these traffic lights already? Because your subconscious mind took over and you were thinking about the argument you're having with your partner or something. So that's what that is. It's just a natural state of relaxation. So you're not going in. It's just about being relaxed. And when you're relaxed, you're always in control of your own thoughts and feelings as well. I can't piggyback or do anything. This is not stage hypnosis. This is just you being relaxed. So while you're relaxing, you're more in your subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is the powerful thing. It's 95% of everything we do, think, feel, and are. The conscious mind just drifts off a little bit. So in the subconscious mind is all about memories and it's all about emotion. So I often regress back to the client, say how, when, and where this issue began. And very often the client will say, I'm in the wrong place. I shouldn't be here because this isn't the most traumatic thing I've ever gone through. But that doesn't matter. About the first thing. I had a client the other day and she's like, this is the wrong place. I've just broken an ornament that's worth 10 pence and my dad says it's okay. But we were working around money blocks. This is something I don't often do, but we were working around money. And she could see that it was okay to have a low value offer or a low value thing because it was safe if she broke it. And she says, oh, and so I said, it's very, very significant. And then she said, oh, as if I drive a rubbish car that breaks down on the motorway more frequently than it goes. Well, they're isolated, aren't they? They're the same thing. You think it's, so that's what it's about. We just go back to how, when, and where it began and understanding why that symptom's there, what the reason is, even though you don't want it. It's usually of some use or benefit to you. It believes it's there to protect you. Usually we're looking at why and how it began and how old it thinks you are. So I hope that's helpful, John. That's what hypnosis is. It's just a natural state of relaxation. And by being relaxed, you're in your subconscious mind, which is the really powerful thing. And then we're bringing that from the subconscious into the conscious mind so that we can analyze it and release it, because you're not that 3-year-old, you're not 10, or whatever that happened. There's so much we can do around that. I spoke to Laura, Robin says, I spoke to Laura a couple of months ago. I had PD. My newest thing is my tongue is shaking all the time. What's going on? Well, the tongue, again, like the thyroid, is about not being able to speak. I've got a potential client that's got a really purple tongue at the moment, and she was called a liar. And it's just like, that's what that's about. So it's just something, it's about not possibly not being able to speak up or not being able to share your feelings or emotions. Potentially, that's just generally, obviously, you might know. What, the thing is, the other question you can ask yourself, Robin, is what was going on at the time when that when your tongue started shaking? What was the, how were you feeling emotionally at that moment, at that time? What was going on for you? Give you more of an understanding, and then talk to yourself about how that's not you now, why that tongue's shaking tongue isn't helpful and what that's all about, so that you can help yourself there. But if you want Laura to give you some more tips, then just drop us a line, send me a private message, or send Laura.
We can. Sure, we can even do like a group chat, Rachel and I and you, for sure. And typically something with the heart, I'm trying to remember this specific conversation, is sadness. There's withheld sadness that has not been able to been released in the way that the body wants to release it. So the emotional standpoint that we're at right now is there's whatever caused that sadness, whether it was childhood or later on in life, your body is bringing it to your attention. I need to let this go. It's time.
Our issues are about love.
Yeah.
It's literal
as
well.
And sadness or love. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about not, yeah. So that's all it is. And when you understand that it's, your body's not hurting you deliberately, it's just trying to go, will you please, it's like waving a flag at you, can you please just look? Hello.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get your attention here. That's all it's doing.
Yes. I love that. That's exactly what I tell my clients is, it's just like, can you pay attention to me? Like, instead of I'm running to the doctor because this is happening and I'm going to get a pill and we're just going to take it. No, we got to stop and say, okay, it's time for self-analyzation, and not whatever that word is, self-analyzing ourselves, going within, what is going on. And I know we're not taught this, so I know it's a journey. And this is where Rachel and I guide people through our programs to learn how to identify where you're feeling your emotions in your body. So first is awareness, what's going on. It's in my heart, it's in my lung, it's in my gut, where your ankle, wherever it is. So step one's awareness. Step two is helping you release that. So yeah. What other kind of I'm seeing the questions now.
I think that's all we've got, unless you can see any more.
I see that. Hi, all my people are here. Jack, Jim, Tatum, Deborah. Hi, guys. Brenda, Robin. Oh, everybody's here playing with us. I'm so psyched. Well, listen, if there's not any other questions, is there anything else you want to add, Rachel, to your time?
I was just going to say that we are going to be doing a group program as well, aren't we?
Yes.
Working the fine tunings on it, but it's about coming back home to ourselves, and then we'll be doing the VIP, which is working one-to-one with you and me, separately or together. So this group program we are putting together, how it's going to work, what it's going to look like, and we'll be sharing more when we fine-tuned it. But if you want to add, because we were doing it for you, so if you want to help us create it by telling us what you would like to see in that group program, that would be even better, because I'm a responsive energy, so I need you to tell me and I'll respond to that. So yeah, I think
yes, we are intuitives. We work with you specifically. Our energies work with you specifically. Whether Rachel and I work together, which will be the best outcome, or we're working singly. So it's definitely your energies that you bring, your questions, where you are, and your intentions that will help us align with you guys.
On purpose, with working with you as well, we've got that collaboration of almost like fail safe, isn't it? It's just like,
it is. Now, yeah, it is fail safe. This is, we are truly pioneers. There's more pioneers. We're not the only ones, but you think about just the total package of what we're able to bring to clients and to our new group that we're going to be starting. It is the future of medicine. It's now. The old system is dying. It's not going to be able to sustain itself, as more and more people are understanding that the old medical system is not able to sustain itself, and it's crumbling as we know it. People are absolutely waking up to it. So yeah, this is wonderful and exciting. I'm super stoked. Big things are happening all over the world, but Rachel and I are going to pull you into our world. You're going to have a blast with us. You can tell we're fun.
it's fun as well. It's not
Yeah,
it's not schoolwork. This is fun. It's light, isn't it? And energized.
it's
That's what
light. It's
it is.
light, and it's what I talk about a lot with my clients is we're doing our passion. This is certainly not work when you're stepping into your gifts and stepping into your passions and bringing this enlightened state of being to other people. So it's
And the thing is,
fabulous.
you've already gone through it. You've already lived it. This isn't reliving it. This is just reviewing it so that you can see where it began and just like unpicking it and releasing
Yeah,
it, blowing it away like a dandelion plot, and it
yeah,
just dissipates. Beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Yay!
Yay.
Well, thank you. Hey, Alice. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I think this is very enlightening. I think this has given people a great overview. But as we said, if you have more questions about what Rachel does or how we're going to collaborate together, what it means for you, what it means for the future of healthcare, which is right now, please message us. We are here for you. We just want to bring this knowledge. I loved what you said at the opening of this is, and I've felt this my whole life, the knowledge that I have and that what you said for you, we feel both of us authentically like it's a disservice not to share it with you guys. It's a disservice that you don't know that food is medicine and that there's an emotional cause um, also to your chronic illness. I couldn't live with myself holding on to that information and not sharing it. And that's why I gave all the information free most of my life. I just wanted to help people. That's my heart. And having met with Rachel so many times and talking with her, that is her heart. She's authentically her. So we're thrilled to be working together.
And if you're not already in my group, you can come and join me as well in overcoming anxiety, depression, and chronic conditions with Wellness with Rachel. And you get to know me a bit more as well. I go live every Friday at 5 o'clock UK time, which is 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock yours? Yeah, 1 o'clock your time. Yeah. Back. 1 o'clock EST. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. We are going to sign off. Hopefully, if you have more questions, we can address those. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad a lot of you jumped on and had questions. And Rachel, welcome into my life even more fully than what you've already been in. I'm so glad we've met and we're going to help change the world.
And do you know what? I've got a very similar blouse to you. I've put pattern one on, but I've got one even more that's like that. We are just so funny, honestly. We are so funny. I'll share a photograph of it.
Look at us. Oh my God, we're nuts. Well, this is what happens when we allow the universe to align us. And, as I tell my clients, I meditate before I see every client. I connect to God's source before I do anything. And that's why these synchronicities keep showing up in our lives. So it's beautiful. It's all beautiful. So thank you, Rachel.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Oh, it's lovely. I've got some gorgeous comments. Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to helping more people and working with Laura because she's just, well, you all know how amazing she is. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Signing off. Bye-bye.